The National Puerto Rican Parade will hold tribute to Oscar Lopez Rivera in this year's parade. Oscar Lopez Rivera is the longest held political prisoner in the history of Puerto Rico and serving a 70-year sentence for quote-unquote seditious conspiracy. Why the tribute? Well, we're about to find out. Joining us here on Open is former political prisoner and also compañero of Oscar, and we've got Adolfo Matos, who's here with us. And then we've also got Carrie Ann Jimenez, who is also the campaign to free Oscar Lopez Rivera, and she's a supporter. Bienvenidos.
Gracias, gracias. Buenos
¿Cómo
días.
está?
Bien, bien, gracias.
All right, I've done my Spanish for the segment. Now let us move on.
Oh.
Talk to us a little bit about this. Obviously, an exciting time because Oscar, there is tribute to Oscar, but yet and still a frustrating time because Oscar's still incarcerated. So let's start first and foremost as a compadre of Oscar. Tell us who Oscar is.
First of all, I must thank you and the production here for open. That means open. We have open, not the gates for Oscar, but open to disseminate information about
Yes.
Oscar. First of all, Oscar is a freedom fighter. He's been incarcerated for the past 33 years, in fact going on 34. And people all throughout the world, especially here in the United States, they have come to the conclusion that he must be out. He must be excarcerated. Not to say he must be liberated. His thoughts, his mind, his convictions, they're totally free. And one of the ways that is the parade on the Bronx last week, last Sunday, dedicated also to him, and so will be the next one, the National Day Parade, Puerto Rican Day Parade on the 8th, on Fifth Avenue is also dedicated to him, as you mentioned.
Right. What does it mean to have this tribute and have Oscar at the forefront of the tribute? Because a lot of people know the work that he's put in, and yet and still to this day know that there's still some work that needs to be done in freeing him.
Well, I thank you again for having me here in the program. But I would like to start by mentioning that there is a lot of people that are aware of Oscar's situation, but students are not aware. And that's where I come in. I am a student organizer. What we have done is before Dr. Nieves Falcon passed away, we got him to come to Hostos Community College and give a speech on the book he edited on Oscar, which are letters that Oscar wrote while in prison. We also had a jail cell in the lobby at Hostos Community College, and we had students come in and sit there for hours, and that was televised internationally. Here at Lehman, we are trying to open a club, a Puerto Rican club, in where we can organize students into signing petitions, and we're trying to get resolutions done through the CUNY schools. And in Puerto Rico as well, the University of Puerto Rico is also a great supporter to excarcerate Oscar. And the Puerto Rican Day Parade, we're having students, we're having people join us and walk and protest, because, it's time.
You're a former political prisoner yourself. Talk to us about Oscar and the fact of him being just that.
One of the main things, one of the main issues, that people have understand is that Oscar, they kept him for 12 years on solitary confinement. They said that he was getting this type of torture that was designed by the Germans, Nazis, if I may, and he was supposed to last only 3 years. Lucky enough, it lasted 12, and he became out of. He wanted to become a vegetable, stuff like that. But he started painting, and through that type of art, he was capable of bringing back his colors, his sensitivity, and stuff like that. He's 71 years old. We don't know exactly how how ill it might be. He's a strong person. Well, there's a lot of people that have compared him with. He's our Nelson Mandela in Puerto Rico. So
yeah, and we've heard that time and time again. Now there is going to be a press conference, and at the press conference, I do know that Clarissa Lopez, who's Oscar's daughter, and Jose Lopez Rivera, his brother, are going to actually have the opportunity to speak. What have we heard so far about Oscar and what's going on right now? Have we heard anything lately?
Well, lately, not much. What we have heard is that, his daughter, before he was incarcerated, the last time she got to see him was when she was 5 years old, and then again at the age of 35. And it was very painful to know that his granddaughter, the only way that they were able to see each other was by a very thick glass, and they would put their hands together because they would imagine that they were touching each other. And eventually, when they saw each other again, face to face, they did that, that hand-to-hand shake again. But we haven't heard much about him in his condition.
And I want to say this before I let you jump in here. You yourself were a former political prisoner. You were released in 1999. You received presidential clemency from President Bill
Conditional.
Okay.
That's correct, yes.
And so, is your hope that the same thing would be occur for Oscar that occurred for you?
But we're working on that. That's basically our bottom line. One of the things waiting for the elections, as the other person that was here, in terms of the elections for the Senate and the Congress, perhaps President Clinton might take action after the elections or before he leaves office.
Obama, you mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, Oscar was offered to be released, but what had happened back then, he was one of the first ones to be pardoned by Bill Clinton. However, it was only him, and he decided that it's all or none. Then eventually, all of his partners, as we see here, were pardoned, but he still remains, and it's something that we don't understand. Like, if he was offered this opportunity, he didn't take it because he believes in all or none. Why not give it to him now? You want to emphasize?
Because at that time when he was offered, he was supposed to come out in 10 years. That means in 2009. But we haven't mentioned anything that he was a Vietnam veteran, and he was decorated with a bronze medal. And due to some actions that he, what did he say in the army? No, leave no man behind.
Right.
That's exactly what he did at that time during the Vietnam War. So when he comes back and we get involved into the independence for Puerto Rico, and we get captured, there was two comrades that were not offered anything at that time during the Clinton administration, and he just said, no, I cannot go until they release my other two comrades. That's exactly what happened. And the other two were released after that, and he's still there. They would not allow him to come out. And the other thing is that he applied for parole, and he was denied. They told him to come back within 15 years. That means he would come out and he'd be 84 years old, perhaps.
Right.
We don't want that.
We want to tell people that you can be a part of this press conference taking place this Thursday at 11 a.m. It will be taking place at 1680 Lexington Avenue. That's 106th Street at Lexington Avenue, and that will be the Free Oscar Lopez Rivera campaign. And certainly we'll continue to bring you more information. This isn't the first time that we brought you the Oscar Lopez Rivera story here on Open. We'll continue to follow it and continue to bring you all the latest. And Adolfo Matos, thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thanks very much. It's a pleasure.
Good to have you. And Carrie Ann, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. And we'll continue to follow and let people know exactly what's going on. Thank you, my brother.
Gracias.
All right, thank you. Gracias.